So test next time. Remember that I'm giving you Monday's tutorial and after school on Monday for extra help if you need it. But you are going to have the test. Make sure you've got everything in by the test date. Okay. Now, I had a bunch of you. Why is this not going down? Because it's right underneath. A bunch of you ask about the lab as far as what we're doing. And these might be a little bit different than I gave you last time. So if you'll just change the letter by it, because this is the letter that it will be in the lab. So go ahead and go to your lab. And then I'm just going to go over these really, really fast before we go. So I think I told you guys to research C16, which is also a solid that can be used in paraffin. I told the other classes C31 because it's easy to find in a Wikipedia search. So these were on, sorry, I'm just borrowing yours for a second. That second page of the Prelab right here where it had the grid, that's where those were supposed to be written. Okay, so on this second page of the Prelab and the grid, that's what you're putting there. So you're going to put down on the first thing where it says chemical formula, right underneath A, you would write paraffin wax, but leave room to write the chemical formula. B, you would write urea, leave room for the, that's what I'm saying. So just change the letter. So because back in lab, those are the letters it's going to be. Does that make sense? So if it said A and it's B up here, change it to B on your paper. Does that make sense? Okay, so quickly write them down if you don't have them, and I'm going to show you how to do it really quick so that you can come back in and do it if you need to. All right? So I sort of told you here what to do. Again, I'm going to put this up on your canvas so you can look at it again. All right, so if I were to search one of them, say that I wanted to search urea. So if I was doing urea, usually when you do a Google search, you come up with something like this. Scroll down, and they usually give you urea, the chemical formula, somewhere there. So urea's chemical formula is C4 or CH4N2O. Then in the next column over, you would do the Lewis dot for each of those elements. So do the Lewis dot for carbon, do the Lewis dot for hydrogen, do the Lewis dot for nitrogen, do the Lewis dot for oxygen. Just one of each, okay, in that next column over. Then if you come back up here to the top, it says images. If you just click on images, it will actually bring up the structure, which is what I want in that big wide area. Okay? So you can do it like this one or like this one. Basically, they're the same. I don't really want this colored thing. I want you to show me where the bonds are and what the elements are. So do something like this. Okay? So if you haven't got urea's shape down, write urea's shape down. Now, if it shows bonds like this, this is how we showed bonds for a covalent molecule. So you would say covalent bond on the very last column. Now, if I were to do up here sodium, and this is one you should actually be able to do by yourself, sodium chloride, it comes up with all this funky stuff. This right here is what should be in the very last column with the type of bond which is ionic. Okay? So this would be in the very last column. Okay, the formula is NaCl like this. Okay? In the center, in that big area, that fat area, so if I go back here in, it doesn't, I don't have it up. In that big fat area where you're drawing the molecule, what it looks like, you're actually showing sodium as it originally was, chlorine how it originally was. And remember how we were showing in some of the things where we showed where the electron went? We circled the electron and said, oh, it went over here. You're showing where it goes. Okay, so actually if I come back in here and go back to here, come on. Sorry, trying to get to where I wanted to get, and it's not letting me go where I want to go. right here. So this is the website that we use that we could do that. So here I have NA and I do CL. This is what I would write originally, and then for my Lewis dots, and then the next column over, I would show this dot right here. I'd circle this dot and show it coming right here, like we did in that one set of notes. Okay? And then, remember, this one is an ionic bond. We'd have one of each. And this is what we should show in the very last column, is when it actually moves and we get these two things. Okay? Now, the other two that you've got to look up, which is sucrose and, what was the other one? Paraffin wax. When you look them up, it will be covalent. So go ahead and put covalent bond there by them. So put covalent bond by the urea and the paraffin wax. Again, when you Google search it for C31 for paraffin wax. It will be a funky looking shape. It's okay. For urea, for sucrose, it will come up and look like a funky looking shape with like a couple hexagons in it. But go ahead and draw it. Okay? So I'm not going to give you any more than that. We are going to go back in lab. When we go back in lab, I need you to grab goggles and aprons. Okay? Because some things fly a little bit with this lab, and it's better to have aprons on and not ruin your clothes. All right? We're in the main lab. I want you to sort of, when you get back there, just get your goggles on, get your aprons on, and then wait for instructions. And I'm going to walk you through. Take your lab back with you. Take your pen or pencil that you're going to write with back with you. Okay?